Hello, hello. Wow, they are really, really going hardcore on the, geez, they're going really hardcore on the copyright stuff. God damn. Let me just check the settings. I'm pretty sure I have it unmonetized, so it's, yeah, I didn't enable monetization, so it's kind of weird that they keep cutting out the streams for that. Hey, sorry about that. Yeah, they're giving me a hard time because of the copyrighted music. I'm back. I guess we can't listen to music, but I'm going to try it again anyway. Was that a real copyright strike? It was, they took it down for copyright. Let's change the title too. Sometimes they're upset about quarantine and all that stuff. They'll take stuff down for copyright, but that's not like, it's not a community strike, so that doesn't go against your channel. Why am I so handsome? Oh, I don't know. Thank you though. I took no part in that. Joined the first live stream 2 seconds before it ended. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on. They've been like really, really serious about copyright and all that sort of stuff. It's very annoying. The silly part too is that I don't even monetize these live streams, so I'm not really sure why they're cracking down on that. Just play Dr. Disrespects Gillette on loop. There we go. Copyrighted bar stools. That's the problem. They saw the copyright for my props that I'm designing. What happened? YouTube was just being stupid. You can play non-copyright music for the stream while listening to whatever music you prefer. I could do that. That's not a bad idea. That might be the thing to do. I kind of like to share in the music stuff just because, you know, I like to share the music that I listen to. Have I ever turned my art into 3D models? Yeah, I actually used to do that a lot when I first started. YouTube is high. First they take down recommended videos and they get them back. And now this, yeah. As I was saying, for you, good for choosing your love of art. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was a big decision. That was probably the biggest decision I've ever made. And it was the best one because now I don't have to fight on the front lines of coronavirus. So, who made the right decision after all? You enjoy the metal that I play. That's good because I'm putting on Cannibal Corpse. Why do sci-fi bar stools have wires and stuff? I figured they'd be moving up and down, you know? I don't know, maybe you got controls. They could just be regular, but they still got to look sci-fi. I was thinking some sort of mechanism for like adjusting the seat. This doesn't look too comfortable though. That's got to have a little bit more of a cushion to it. To support different species, that's also a good point. And the other point is that, yeah, maybe I should have thought about that. I'm pretty sure the XP Pen Pro is pretty good. So that I use the Huion canvas, the GT221. How's quarantine treating me? It's been pretty good, actually. I've been working out a lot, been drawing a lot. I'll flip this over. But can it do this? I don't know if they can. We'll find out. I waste a lot of time in a sketch, almost 1 hour to do a body. I get frustrated easily because it's not perfect. Any advice to deal with that? Do timed loose gestural sketches. It's the best way to treat that. No rock climbing gym due to quarantine yet. Really sucks. Very bummed out about that. Thanks for remembering my love of rock climbing. What's my opinion on non-screen tablets? I think it's very difficult to draw on. I think you can use them. I think they're like, I don't think they're useless. I used to use a non-screen tablet for a very long time. And I know plenty of people that still use non-screen tablets. Do I climb real rocks? No, it's one of those fake climbing gyms where everything's, fake. I do like doing real rock climbing when I get the chance, but unfortunately the outside is poison right now, so I can't go out there. The outdoors are lava. I think I need to be a little bit more loose. Thanks for streaming and sharing your thoughts with us. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I feel like my thoughts when I design on stream get really jumbled, but that's okay. We're gonna work through it. Some people design on stream and they're great about it. Today there's no music. There's music on. Here, let me turn it up. Let's hope we don't get copyright striked again. Yeah, some of us don't live in the Grand Canyon. That is true. Dun, dun. What reference am I working from? Here, I'll show you my reference board. So for the characters and stuff, the reference board is, well, I just have a bunch of random stuff. And it's really not organized well. But some stuff from like, this is sort of the type of dive bar I'm looking to make. I like Fang Zhu's painting style, so something along those lines, and some stuff for hard surface details. Hey, I'm glad I inspired you to help to do some artwork. Hell yeah. Glad I could help. It's not an infinite canvas, but I really have no idea. I just draw on a big canvas. I have a pretty powerful machine, so I just kind of go. And this part I'm just drawing loose, trying to think of shapes and stuff that I think are cool. How did I get interested in sci-fi? I mean, I pretty much only read sci-fi books, like if I ever read, so I've just always been a fan of it. Sci-fi games. I mean, my first favorite game of all time was StarCraft, so I'm a big fan of that. And I just like the idea that the bounds are kind of limitless, right? You can kind of just do all sorts of weird shapes. I find it easier whatchamacallit, I find it easier with characters because the shapes are easier to make crazy. I'd say do time sketches. Yeah, that's a good choice. I'm going to do that as well. I know you're talking to the other person, but I'm going to time myself as well, just because I think I'm spending too much time. How long do I draw? Do you mean like per day, or do you mean like for how long have I been doing it? How to understand shapes? That's a difficult question. I'm gonna draw these smaller also. That'll make my life easier. Get a little bit more looseness in here, a little bit more energy. Have I seen Valorant? No, I haven't. Sci-fi movie? Game? Oh, is that a game? I think somebody mentioned it. Hey, hey. Did I already do a landscape stream? I don't think I did. Let's give this one a back. You should be fine with quick sketches as long as you don't try to draw a kangaroo. I heard that's the downfall of YouTubers. We'll do like a stool, like a, not a stool, like a chair. Like a booth. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, we'll plan on doing one of those. I don't remember if I did it or not. I've been streaming a lot. Starts headbanging. So this part, in terms of understanding shapes, like what I'm doing when I'm trying to work fast is I'm trying to think of what sort of shapes of light and dark work. So a bit of the graphic read. Sci-fi's got a lot of these like 45-degree angles, a lot of these like triangular shapes, cut lines, all that sort of thing. I'm also trying to get the functionality, right? It's going to be like a booth of some sort. So it's got to be something where people can sit on it. Yeah, that's true. I don't really think about the perspective too much because, yeah, it's just once you're used to doing it so many times that you don't, it kind of just happens. I'm just trying to think about what shapes of light and dark I'm using. You're really cool with this music. I can't tell if that's blatant sarcasm or if you're a metal fan, but I'm just a fan of the music, fan of the heavy. This is Cannibal Corpse. some old school. I mean, granted, this is their newer album, but reported and blocked. Oh no. Have I listened to Amon Amarth? Yes, I have. I'm a fan. Well, I like that concept artists specifically, or like when they listen to metal too, they really like the extra epic shit like Amon Amarth, and it makes perfect sense that they would. It's just like it's always what the type of metal that they're into. It's so funny. Nice to meet you. You really like metal? Oh, awesome. Cool. I'm a big metal guy. That's what I listen to 90% of the time. All right. If your legs are going to dangle, like you're going to be sitting, you gotta make him lean forward too, because he's like drinking and down on his luck. So we gotta make it match to that. So maybe make this a little bit longer. Yeah, there we go. Before hours, I discovered your channel and saw the world building series. It's amazing. Oh, thank you. I don't like it that much, but I appreciate it. Any tips on starting a portfolio? Hey, Milbert, by the way, I've seen you here a bunch. Haven't seen you here recently. This music is really mean sounding. Yes, that's what we listen to here on this channel. Any tips on starting a portfolio? Well, listen, I'm the best advice I can give is just draw things that you really like. So for me, I like doing lots of sketches and like coming up with worlds and stuff. So I'm like making all these things. And I'm building it for one story, which I think is helpful as well. I've heard people say like gear your portfolio towards the job you're trying to get. So if you're like applying to a Blizzard job, really try to get a lot of stuff that seems like it would be applicable to that. But also you want to make sure that they can see your personality in it, because they're not trying to hire people for recreating what they already have. They're trying to come up with new ideas. But again, listen to that new Trent Kanuga video. He talks a lot about the different types of jobs for video games. Check out Sanction. Oh yeah, I know Sanction. I actually think they're from Long Island, where I'm from. I've seen them a couple times. And I agree with you, they are balls to the wall heavy. Thank you for the heavy music recommendations, everybody, by the way. Show your best work, they judge you on your worst piece. Well, that would make sense for anybody. For me personally, I wouldn't worry so much about getting a job till I felt really comfortable with where my stuff is at. So like my philosophy has always just been continue working on your own art, trying to get it to the point where you think it's fucking dope. And then opportunity will follow. Like when I started out, I was just trying to get better, and I just kept trying to get better. And then I'm still trying to get better, but like I just happened to start making a living off of it. So I think if you just kind of do what it is you like, and you really stick to that, people kind of gravitate towards it. Whoa, thank you so much for the donation. Do I have any principles on perspective that I follow? Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of the fundamentals underlying when I'm just drawing. And thank you so much for the donation. Yeah, like this is a 2-point perspective. I have a bunch of videos just on the fundamentals of perspective. So if you're like concerned or confused about that stuff, I have a lot of videos on it. It's important to be able to do that, especially if you're trying to do props and whatnot. How many hours do I draw daily? A lot, especially during quarantine. My girlfriend's drawing nonstop. I'm drawing. We just, oh, that was 10 minutes. I'll give it another 10. I really should keep it going. Do I mostly draw digital? As of late, yes, because I find that world building on the digital is a lot easier because you can see how back and forth I'm going. Like, it's so easy for me to push shapes around and stuff. But I do most of my practice traditionally. So if I'm like trying to work on just drawing technique, I'll do it traditionally. All right, let's make this top part look more like it's a cushion. Yeah, I agree. It's nice to have a girlfriend who draws. She's great too. She won't say she is, but she is. I like how Ethan Becker dissed you in such a lovely way. Yeah, he's awesome. I think his channel is much needed for the art world. We need funny personalities like that. Theme, the name of this app. Oh, it's just Photoshop. The one that everybody uses. I wouldn't worry so much about apps and that shit. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Just use, I'm just using the basic drawing tools pretty much. Yeah, my reference board, I just shared it a couple minutes ago, you can see, but I'm trying to use reference to come up with stuff from imagination, if that makes sense. So I'll show it again. Reference board is just like some sci-fi props, bars, because again, I'm trying to make sort of like a tavern scene. At what point do you consider yourself good enough to make a living off of art? When people start paying you money. I don't know. I personally always err on the side of like, oh, I'm not that great. So it's really more of you won't really know until you just start sharing your work. And if you share your work, people might actually just be like, oh, that's kind of awesome. Kind of looks like a printer. Yeah, it does. Let's try to make it look more like, that's a flaw of the design. Let's make it look more like you might actually want to sit on it. It's supposed to be like a grungy bar. So let me look at something a little bit more grungy, like. So here's where reference plays an important part. Like looking at Borderlands props and stuff, because they have that sort of grungy feel to it. So you see a lot of this where the plates and like there's shit holding it together. So I can incorporate more of that. Yeah, cool. So I'll incorporate more of that where there's like this dirty grittiness to it and a lot of extra plates that are holding things together. But I do like how this like big chunky geometry that they have. How many genres of music do you listen to? One, it's called metal. No, I listen to like pretty much everything. I just mostly like working to metal because why not? It gets me hyped up. Maybe it used to be a printer. Watching any good shows. Tiger King. So I'm gonna make it look a little more dilapidated, so I'm gonna add some like panels and shit. But like on off angles. How to start my career in designing. Just do it, as our good friend Shia LaBeouf would say. There's so much truth to that, though, that like literally just start doing stuff. Like, I'm not a designer by profession. I just teach and illustrate. So just start designing, and then eventually you'll get better at it. And then people will be like, hey, I like those designs. Let me give you money for those designs. And you got to keep comparing to your previous work and just see, hey, how does this look? Wait. There's no right answer to that, but honestly, you just have to, just gotta keep drawing. Just keep doing what you want to do. I like sci-fi stuff, so I'm just trying to do sci-fi stuff. There's no right way. And if you know anything about my life, you know that I don't really follow any fucking, you know, normal path of things. So just kind of do what you're going to do. Am I on Fiverr too? No. Look like Shia LaBeouf's younger brother? Hell yeah. Take that as a compliment. I love Shia LaBeouf. Thank you. Do I play Rocket League? No. I have played it. I've seen it. It seems pretty fun. It's not my cup of tea, but is it the future of people live in uncomfortable seating? I'll try to make it more comfortable. The way I can make that more comfortable is by making this here we can just do that. Make this a little bit more fluffy. I'm a software engineer. My job compared with art here. Do you ever draw while not streaming? Yes. That's what I do for the remainder of the day. I just like to stream sometimes. It's nice if I'm like particularly unfocused or something. I know it seems counterintuitive, but sometimes it helps me just get in the zone. But yeah, I stream. I mean, I draw without streaming all the time. Why are you so interested in sci-fi? Well, I could ask you why you're so interested in what you're interested in. Everyone's got their own preference. I love sci-fi. I've read it. My favorite books are all sci-fi. I don't know. It's just what I'm into. I used to do construction, so I love industrial stuff. It's just all about that industrial, chunky geometry. To the person that asked, do you ever draw while not streaming? There's no need to copy and paste that 8 times. I see it. I answered it too. Why do people hate on baths? I have no idea. The bath is the bath is a luxury. You know when you're taking a bath, you're doing it right. What keeps you going and get past the initial critique in your mind? What's really done that has just been like loosening up and not being such a dick to myself. It took a lot of whatchamacallit, it took a lot of practice though. You have to practice being nice to yourself, as weird as that sounds. Do I study for the masters? All the time. You see it, I have it on stream. I've done it here. Favorite books. Dune is the classic, obviously. Dune is great. Currents of Space was I think the last one I read. Maybe, no, I read, what's the other one? Something of the Gods by Isaac Asimov. It's a really cool book. Do I prefer complex or clean geometry? It's always a balance, you know. If you get too crazy with it, then it starts to look annoying. So you gotta balance out the complexity with rest areas. So you'll notice, let me move that guy out of the way. This floaty dude. Ever do a space trip stream? No, I don't think so, but I'll do one. The Gods themselves. Yeah, I think that is the book I'm talking about. I'm in the middle of that right now. I don't really read too many webcomics. Or any, for that matter. When I say too many, I mean, no, I don't read any. There was one that I read, and Transient Man it was called, and that was awesome. First Contact, it's good, but also kind of terrible. Well, which is it? Is it good or is it terrible? Don't lie to me. When do you get the most work done? At like 3 in the morning, always. It's always at like 3 in the morning. It's a train wreck, but you want to keep looking around more than curiosity. Is this the golden ratio is it a new age scam? I don't think so. Especially since it's not new. Are there any visual artists that I think are underrated? You're underrated. Where's your credit in all this? Right? Don't you think so? Where's your piece of the pie? Did I read Framed Ink? More like Framed Garbage. No, it's a great book. I'm kidding. Really interested in character design, but I don't know where to start. Start by drawing just people. Just draw people from reference. And I liked Loomis when I started out. Kim Jong-gi's underrated. No, he's not underrated. He's got plenty of ratings. Was it you who wanted art to happen so that you could put med school aside for a year? That is me. I think you got that. Yeah, that's the story. You probably heard that on Proko's thing. My boy Marshall Vandriff. That is me. I'm the med school maniac. I learned anatomy by cutting open a dead body. Just like me and Carol Baskin. That's how we did it. What's the purpose of transitioning from figure drawing to studies for drawing of imagination? So you could draw creatures. They told a story about you getting into Marshall Vandriff's class. I taught in his class. I've been drawing a sofa sci-fi mode. Basically, who's my favorite YouTube artist? Ahmed Aldoori. It's my dude. But I like all the ones that I have. I have a bunch listed on my channel page if you go to my channel page. I like all those. Boro, Trent Kanuga, Cynics, Ethan Becker. All these guys are great. How did you develop the mid-Atlantic accent you use in some of your vids? Wait, what are you talking about? I'm really confused. What accent is that? Someone's got to explain this, or you have to explain that more thoroughly. What animals are overrated / That's a great question. What animals are overrated? All right, I definitely have some answers to this. I got to think about it for a second. What animals are overrated? I think maybe fucking penguins are overrated. What made me interested in art while being in med school? I was always interested in arts and music. I was in a touring band for like 10 years or something. And so I did that before going to college. But I thought I had to go to college and be a doctor, so I did that. And I left my band, sadly. But I did all the artwork for the band. That's kind of what got me started. Because we didn't have any money, so I started doing that. If I could pick a franchise or to work in, I don't know actually. Maybe StarCraft. For 10 years, I'm 27. I started the band super early, but we started I shouldn't say it. We toured for 10 years. We toured for like 2 years. I started the band when I was really young. Do I have a girlfriend? Yes, she lives with me. We've been dating for 4 years. I always like how these questions get to like just completely un-art related things. He's got a boyfriend. Nah, get out of here. Did you read Noah Bradley's Did Not Go to Art School? Nope. But I love Noah. I just hung out with him on Skype the other day. He's a great guy. And by Skype, I mean Zoom. That's what I mean. Let's keep going then. Do you work out? Yeah, I work out 3 or 4 times a week. I got a personal trainer. If you haven't tried drop kicking babies, you're missing out. You may be right there. Katsuya Terada is awesome. That's what I think. Go you, 10 years. Congrats. Damn, that's a long relationship. Congrats, guys. Took you a long time to get used to digital art, or was it easy? I thought it was pretty easy, to be honest, but I had used Photoshop a lot, so that helped. Like, I used it in a graphic design sense. Thought process on prop design. Think about the function a lot. Try not to make it too complicated. I try to leave lots of rest areas here. That's true of everything though. Don't make it too complicated. It's so easy to just start adding details and it's like, it's not really helping. Is James Gurney thinking of suing you for copyright? Maybe. Why, does he have the copyright on the name James or something? Any mech artists recommendations? Look at Darren Bartley. He's very sick. Not physically, like he doesn't have coronavirus, but he makes great work. How much construction do you use when designing mechs? Not that much actually. What do I think I need to improve most in art? Probably the painting stuff I gotta get better at. I'm definitely getting better at it though. This year has been really good for that. Generally the act of finishing stuff rather than leaving in the sketch. Like I find this part the most exciting and then I get bored quickly, so that's something I'd like to get better at. An easy way to think or to get around adding way too many details is just to be really conscious of the rest areas. So if you're thinking about adding a lot of rest areas, then you really concentrate your details. Like you'll notice most of my details are concentrated down here, like at the bottom. So that helps. Like the major stuff's got to read first. I don't like the way that connects. Is it hard for me to pick up traditional medium? No, I do it all the time. When there wasn't a quarantine, I'd go to, whatchamacallit, I'd go to the museum every week. And by that, I mean I would go and sketch, so it's not that much of a transition, I don't think. It's different. Using perspective guides, the rough guides help you to get an accurate result. Whoa, so many questions. Do I ever do live figure drawing? I haven't done it in a while, especially now that we can't go outside, but yes, the answer is yes. I'll use some guides for things that are extra boxy like this because it's, you know, it just sort of lends itself for that. I remember you were doing a MTG art test a while ago. Can we see it? No, I didn't like it and it didn't get accepted. So I'm just gonna keep I'm gonna keep working. I was talking to, that's what I was talking to Noah Bradley about. I'm gonna do some more redesigns. I need more work on it, honestly. Like I just need to get better at it. But it's okay. It was awesome to get the opportunity to try it. What is the function of this high-tech crazy couch? Well, you figured it out yourself, sitting. It's a couch. Yeah, maybe I'll share it at some point. I really don't like it though. Do I like watercolor? Yes. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the painting I did, but there is a time limit on it, so. Opinions on Carol Baskin? That bitch Carol Baskin? Oh, don't even get me started on Carol Baskin. Don't even get me fucking started on Carol Baskin. Do you usually approach designing an environment you're seeing by first designing the components? I've been having this debate in my mind because, again, the way I work is probably not the most normal way to work. I think usually people would build some sort of scene, like paint a full scene, and then people go in and design the individual components. I'm trying to go back the opposite way, where I'm designing components and then trying to make the scene out of it. How do you break through plateaus? Try something very different that you're not normally used to doing. So do something like completely random that you just never do. What do I think of Tame Impala's new album? I didn't listen to it, but I think I like Tame Impala. Can you play Linkin Park? No, thank you. How often do I revisit the fundamentals? Not so much anymore. I think about it like how like when I used to do guitar, or like when I first started, I pretty much only played scales, and then now I don't play scales at all. I barely go back to them. In fact, I only really go back if I'm gonna show somebody how to play a scale. Wait, you know what? I'm just gonna copy that one over and just fuck around with that. Here's the benefit of designing digitally too. You just do one of these, and now we can drastically change this, but keep some of the components that we liked. Like, I don't know, it'd be kind of weird if this was elevated for some reason. Why would it be that way? I don't know. I don't think I don't know if I like that. Might be cool if, what if it curves around this way? Death is the best metal band of all time. Pretty sure the guitarist, if I'm not mistaken, the guitarist of Death, his name is James Murphy. So we share the names. Share names. I take baby booster seat. No, I don't do the box in perspective exercise. I mean, I guess sort of, because when I teach, I'm teaching people to do those things, but I don't like spend time on my own doing that. You don't want to live in box land forever. You got to get out of box land at some point. I think I reached a point where I'm ready to get out of box land, you know? I think even Carol Baskin would agree. That bitch. I don't know why it's so funny, but I guess everybody thinks it's funny because fucking that show is major on Netflix. How do you get out of Boxland? Stop drawing boxes. That's how. Start drawing things, not boxes. Ultra futuristic dwarf seat. Do I like KFC or McDonald's more? Probably KFC. Yeah, definitely KFC. Do you think one can get as good as me without attending art school? Well, I didn't attend art school, so I would imagine that that I am the evidence of somebody getting as good as me without going to art school. So I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Do I like funk music? Yeah. I don't know a lot of funk bands, but I do like it. Ideas on how to improve faster. Stop worrying about improving faster, and then you'll improve faster. It's one of those weird catch-22s where you got to stop thinking about it, and then it'll actually probably happen. As a complete noob, where should I start with your tutorials? Start on another YouTuber's channel. You just want to start somewhere else entirely. No, I'm kidding. I think the basic perspective stuff is useful. I don't really like those videos, but for whatever reason they do the best. Basically do instead of thinking about it. All right, yeah, that's true for everything. Have you ever met Scott Roberts in person? Nope, just his ghost. How to get better. How to bet getter at light and value. Do value studies. I mean, that one, you know, you just do the thing. Do you spend time on Instagram? Like, a lot? Nope. Haven't posted there in months. Didn't even have a cell phone until a couple days ago. So I spend no time on Instagram. Spend a lot of time on YouTube, though. That I am very guilty of. Still using Huion tablets? Hell yeah. They keep sending them, I keep using them. You know what I'm saying? I can save everyone time and answers. Do it and practice. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's like when people ask you, it's like, how do you get in shape? It's like, well, talking about it's not going to do anything. You know? You just got to think about it that way. It's like, you can talk about it all you want. It's just a matter of just literally do stuff. Any goals for personal work outside concept art stuff? I want to release books. I want to, just like release books of like a story and universe. So like, kind of like what Evan Munson does, where he's got like his Tane books, and they're like all the books relate to that series. I will become the best artist if I just ask James what pencil and program he uses. There you go. You figure it out. Which is funny because I'm light years away from being the best artist, so it's strange how asking me gets you there. Good ratio between studying and doing what you want. I think, honestly, something around like 50-50, although that number should be shifted more towards practicing early on, I think. But that's just my philosophy on it. Did you notice that all you watch, listen, experience basically shows up in your drawings? I see the love of metal in drawing. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Yeah, I noticed that with like I always like these sort of demonic things. I could see the metal in there. I hope it comes out more. I think the more comfortable you get with the tool, it shows up. If my art reflects my music taste, then I'm happy. Metal is a state of mind. Never get to watch one of these live. I'm a big fan of your value control. Thank you. I'm a big fan of your value control. And just your controlling personality in general. I think you need to back off. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what I'm talking about. Going crazy. Did you first learn to draw or paint? I still am learning to paint, so definitely draw first. This could probably be moved out a little bit. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get in that chair. Let's move this floaty dude over there. Just put a leather jacket with spikes on every character. Draw is the dad of painting, if you want to put it that way. Awesome live session. All right, I'm a head out. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining. As far as design goes, also something you should look at and work on is graphic design. It's really helpful for figuring out how to break up shapes. I need to focus on that more. It's just something that's helpful for that. I have one high school drawing that I kind of like. Hold on, wait, I find it. I was very like influenced by tattoo stuff. Character not getting a shower win. Glad I got here in time. Yeah, hell yeah. Thanks for showing up. Here's one of, this is like a high school drawing I did. I remember I used to like just throwing these fucking waves and stuff everywhere. But I didn't really understand perspective very much, obviously. The metal is always back there, Nick. It's not going anywhere, man. Even if I'm not listening to it at that moment. Right? Fire up the chainsaw. Hooray! Not gonna lie, I've seen worse ink from professional tattoo artists. Awesome, thank you. Do I like jazz? Yeah. It's all good. See, I don't like these like kind of wanky solos though. That's the one thing I gotta give them gripe about. Like a lot of the earlier metal. Oh, we should listen to freaking Pantera. Why are we not doing that? While we're on a 80s, 90s kind of thing. When did I first start drawing consistently? 2015, 16-ish. There we go. I don't think I have my old art anywhere aside from the one that I just showed a little bit before. Yeah, I agree with you. Right on. Let's listen to some goddamn Pantera. When will I post my next video? I'm on hiatus for now, so not for a little bit. See, now we're getting kind of that sci-fi feel, but also a little bit more decrepit. I just needed some of these like grosser details in there. Dun, 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 dun. My art journey here is super brief, to be honest. I left school and I just started drawing all the time. Then about 2 years of literally just drawing and trying to design sci-fi stuff or whatever I was doing. Yeah, it was mostly sci-fi stuff I was trying to design. I was like, okay, gotta work on my fundamentals. I decided to do that in conjunction with starting the YouTube channel because I figured it would be a good way to like just share what I was doing. And like I had taught guitar when I was younger, so I knew that you learn a lot by teaching. So I said, well, I'll just make this YouTube channel in conjunction with trying to get better at fundamentals. So I did that. Then the first paid thing was somebody just hit me up off of Instagram and asked me to design some Dungeons and Dragons characters for them. So I did that, which was great. Got $200 for that. Super nice guy. I forgot his name, but thank you to that guy. It's really cool. hardest but most impactful fundamental. I mean, honestly, I think the hardest thing was learning to like just put the fundamentals aside a little bit. But you know, for me, coming from like metal and DIY and all that stuff, I've always been a fan of just sort of doing things on your own and then like figuring out afterwards what to do with it, right? Just make stuff and then throw it on the internet and just see what happens with it. No, it wasn't. It wasn't for Dungeons and Dragons, like the company. It was for a guy playing D&D with his friends. If it wasn't for Wizards of the Coast, no, that would be really ridiculous. Yeah, I actually, I've been writing a story to this, which I'm sure my girlfriend is tired of hearing about. So I write out the story for what I'm working on here. This story I was thinking was, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Goodfellas, but great mafia movie. And I was thinking it'd be funny if it was like a sci-fi version of that, where I could use like parts of my own childhood and put that into the story. But I like the idea of this like young protagonist being surrounded by like the worst people of all time. Did I ever have a mentor? In music I did, not in art. Kind of had to figure art out by myself. How's the game development going? It's going pretty well. I needed a break from doing whatchamacallit. I was doing like icons and stuff, and I got bored, so I was like, I need to take a break and do some design. So then I started doing that. Have you ever heard of Modern Day James? Pretty handsome guy. Oh, thank you so much with the flattery today, guys. Thank you. Making me feel like a very pretty girl today. Do I still do traditional? Yes. You don't have to post it twice, man. I got it. I see it. I see it. I see it. All right, let's get some details from real life hard surface stuff. A pretty bearded girl. Thank you. Do you also finalize the render in high detail? So I will do that. I'm going to do it probably first with the characters. I think what I'm going to do is all these props are just going to be sketches, and then I'm going to do a painting, and then in the painting I'll be using these props, so it'll be rendered. The characters, I'm going to render those all out once I feel like it. You guys use photo bashing a lot. Jeez, I can't speak. I do it a bit, but not a lot. I'm not a huge fan of doing it. I feel like I fuck it up every time. I don't have control of all these newfangled techniques that all these guys have. I study it a lot, like try to figure out what everybody's doing. Your face always looks like you apply rouge. No, I don't. But I think I blush easily, and it's like kind of toasty in here. It could also just be the whatchamacallit, the color balance on the camera. Do you ever stream drawing from fan references? That's interesting. Imagine your final work before it shows up. Wait. Do you imagine your final work in mind before it shows up, or step by step? Usually just kind of goes. Have you ever touched 3D programs? Yes, today actually. I do every day. I've been practicing my blenders. It's a whole other universe. I would really like to make a bunch of 3D stuff and then, or a bunch of sci-fi stuff and then bring it into 3D. It'd be so fucking cool. I would love to do that. And again, that'd be another cool way of doing, like, again, what Evan Munson does, where he's got his Tane books where he just makes a story and then builds it out. I could do that using 3D as well and like incorporate that into the final illustrations. It could be really cool. What question would you like to answer but no one's asking? None of them. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not answering questions for myself, and I don't really, like, I don't think I'm that important that whatever question I get is that fucking cool. Sometimes I like talking about metal, but that's just about it. It's like, it's kind of fun. I don't think I'm that important that whatever questions you guys ask need to be like of some super high quality. But if you want to talk about metal, that's always welcomed. You probably make a good amount of money creating 3D. Yeah, you definitely could. Money is not really an issue right now, so I don't really want to do things just to make money, you know? I'm fortunate that that's the case. I'd rather just do stuff that I kind of want to do. But selling 3D assets is totally a valuable thing to do if you're trying to make some cash doing art stuff. Favorite things to draw? I like drawing really demonic creatures, it seems. In high school, on average, how much did you draw a day? I drew a lot in high school, actually, because I was doing all the band stuff. Yeah, I forgot how much I drew in high school. Every time you're streaming, I feel obligated to open up Photoshop. Good, start drawing. Dun, dun. How do I deal with procrastination? In fact, this is actually how I deal with procrastination. I just started live streaming. And I don't think anybody would want to watch if I just sat and didn't draw. So that's kind of what I did. That's kind of cool. Let's try that. Ding 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 ding. I don't want to hear this song. Please draw some music instruments with a sci-fi style. Oh, that's a cool idea. I'm gonna go to end. Do I follow any 3D artists? Not as much. Mostly just Vitaly, I guess, is the one that I know. Jama does 3D. I mean, he's 3D and 2D. Who is your favorite modern day artist? Changes a lot, but I really like Claire Wendling a lot. What are these for? They're for myself. I'm trying to make props for a larger scene. I was just explaining before what the general story of all this stuff is from, or it's a story I'm writing. Where do I get my references from? I literally just go on Google. I mean, you can look at my reference. Some of it's Pinterest, some of it's Google. Just picking random stuff. My Photoshop might be freaking out again. Oh no, we're good, we're good. I thought it was. Cool. Well, it's going to be like a visual story. Like if you look at Simon Salenhag's books that he's got, right? He's got Tales from the Loop, which they just turned into a show. He's got the other one, Electric State. And so it would be like, you'd have some story, you'd have some story elements and narrative, and then you'd have the illustrations. It's how you develop an IP. So it's kind of just like working on IP development. And that means intellectual property for those who don't know that term. I think everything I'm making is kind of in the realm of generic right now, but that's okay. You love it a lot more now? Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad it's changed. I think that's just part of the whole process. It's just growing and changing, and generic is good. For me, at the moment, you know. generic is better than not at all. So, what song is this? This is Necessary Death by the band End. Uber heavy, very angry. What's the best way to make interesting characters? Ooh, this I do have insight for. So if I show you the way I go about it, or usually my process is like break things up into small, medium, and large as much as you can. So like with this guy, he's like large, round body, smaller head. Here, same thing, like larger torso, small head, small arms, and then it tapers out to wide feet. Try to, just try to think in shape, keep it a little bit more interesting. Do I ever struggle with removing distractions? Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube, and I feel like I have to have a podcast going when I'm working, which is probably not the best, maybe. I feel like that's not always the most helpful. Did I go to art school? No. No art school. That's for chumps. Art school's for chumps. And people that haven't already spent 6 years in school. That was really why I didn't go. I just was already went through med school. I was like, nope. Not spending any more time at school. Don't want to listen to anybody talk to me. How much time it takes making all these concepts with props and characters, like a day. Everything I have so far, I'd say is 4 days, I think. 4 days worth of work. It's hard to get an idea of time scale. I think generally I run a little slow. And I think mostly that's because I don't really time myself or anything. I kind of just go for it. But if you watch some like other pros, Gumroads, you can see what their speed is like. Let's make that smaller line weight. Will you make these stream videos you can watch later? They are available on my Patreon. You can get the live stream tier when they generally upload speed paints, so it finishes in 18 minutes. Yeah, I mean it's kind of frustrating. What is the band? The band is called End. It's the old drummer of Dillinger Escape Plan, if you know them. I think another reason too why people upload speed paints and stuff is because they don't want to narrate so much. Which sometimes I'll do that because I don't want to narrate so much. How do I combat the urge to headbang and flail my arms violently? Oh, it's tough. I still headbang when I'm listening, especially this part. Alright, that was another thing I wanted to design. Alright, let's take a second. How long have we been going for? I gotta stretch my arms out. I always gotta do the stretch. How long have we been going for? We've been going for 1 hour and 15 minutes. how to achieve that juicy gold color of this one that I did? Or are you talking about my skin? Because this gold you just put yellow in and then you got it. There's not much to it other than that. Last podcast I listened to. I like Tom Segura's Your Mom's House. So good. Have I played Dark Souls? Of course I played Dark Souls. What do you take me for, a chump? Some chump that hasn't played Dark Souls? Does anyone play Apex Legends? I do. I do. What about me? Love Apex Legends. What can I study to help me create designs like these? I am looking at reference. I look at a lot of this guy Shang Lem. He's awesome. I have some real life hard surface stuff. Some stuff from Halo, I think, or whatever that is. Just random props that I think are cool. James, who do you play? I play Octane and Bloodhound. I used to play as, what's the robot's name? I used to play as, what is wrong with my brain? Pathfinder. There we go. Thank you. But now I play as Bloodhound. Do you study each material by itself, or are there general rules for types of material? There are general rules for types of material. But you do, to some extent, have to study some general rules. I mean, specifics, rather. Sorry. But there's definitely generalities you can use. Like, reflective things are generally going to have very sharp highlights. I like the design of Revenant is so cool, but fucking I really think his abilities kind of suck. Yeah, that would be cool if there was an SMG in the new one, or that's the next gun they put in. Yeah, the revive thing just doesn't really work well at all. I think they need to make another medic type character also. They haven't really done... I guess it's harder to introduce another character like... What's her name? Why do I keep forgetting everyone? Lifeline, there we go. So old. That's how old I am. I'm so old I keep forgetting. Am I going to be playing Valorant? No. I'm going to be playing Apex Legends. Because I'm having a great time with it. What else? Okay, let's get a pool table, because that's the next thing. How do you combine the character's overall theme with the surroundings? So a lot of that has to deal with shapes. So like, there's a couple things. I probably need to do a better job of it, but so for example, you notice on these guys' armor, they have like these rounded forms, and then it's like round and then kind of hard surface there. So you can use that idea everywhere else. So like, Here, I started, and that kind of looks a little too elegant and eclectic, I think, for what I'm going for. So, you know, you gotta balance out the round and hard shapes. So maybe most of it's hard surface, but then there's some areas where it's rounded out, like this sort of thing. All right, so now we're bridging that gap of, I'll erase these two. Bridging that gap of it being like purely hard surface. And then if you want to make things functional, you got to have stuff going in and out of other things. It's all about connection points. Maybe I'll make this flatter. Kings Canyon or World's Edge? I get more kills on World's Edge. I love Kings Canyon. Do you prefer working on characters or structures? I think in general, I like working on characters. But I like the idea of having both in the world. So I don't want to just like only do characters. Man, those black spots on that space station. Is that a good thing, or good black spots or bad black spots? Who do you think really needs a buff? I just said it earlier. I think Revenant really needs something. Like, I think his abilities just suck. Oh, thank you very much. Alright, so now I'm going to try to do the pool table. Thanks, guys. Yeah, for sci-fi stuff though, like the really, to me, the big thing is like, let me lower the music a little bit so I can hear my thoughts, is how do these things connect to one another? So like, let me get this other program I have out. Sometimes I just like explaining shit. That's why I have a YouTube channel where I just explain stuff. I like explaining. Okay, so this band that wraps around this cigarette machine, the way it goes in, you notice it inserts inside and wraps around rather than just sort of like being attached. I could also improve this here. I was trying to do that as a surface detail, but if you want that to feel like it's connecting, what we can do is we can make this form span across. So now it really feels like it's strapped in. Let's just change the color. See, now it feels like that's damn solid. So connection points are really important, and just, you know, doodle, have fun, be loose, and that'll help get some shapes out there and stuff. But yeah, if you think about the logic of how things are connecting, it helps. What program do you use? It don't matter. Don't worry about what program I'm using. Let me ask you a question, because I get that. That's probably like the 100th time I've gotten that question. Why do you want to know what program I'm using? That's the better question. If you have if you have a reason for why you want to know that question, then I'll give you an answer. Do you enjoy making buildings environments? I like doing all of it, to be honest. It's fun. There's an interesting challenge about each of them. This is not Thy Art is Murder. Program is installed in his brain. Fuck. I'm just calling him out. I just get that question so many times. I want to know. Pull inspiration from. I showed my reference board, but I think maybe like for me, I like whatchamacallit? What do I like? A lot of books and stuff. I really, really want to make something that gives me that experience of like those old school platformers, like Jak and Daxter and Super Mario. Love that kind of stuff. So I want to get something that's like maybe a little bit more mature version of that. I had heard about Pure Ref. I've never used it. Autumn, it should... Wait, I should do that. But Hope James... What am I answering? I don't remember. I'll take a look at it. If you send that one again, I'll answer it. I addressed it, so now I have to answer it. You're working on a zoomed canvas. Well, it's 100%, I think. It's just a big canvas. I don't change the size of the canvas ever. I don't think that's a good idea. Because I think if you start changing the size of the canvas a lot, unless you're painting, so that's a little bit different. But I think if you start just going into crazy details, you're just going to lose track of it, and then it's not like drawing on paper at all. Sometimes people, I don't know, sometimes people draw with a magnifying glass, but I think that's a little bit too much to like actually zoom in and stuff. I rented one of your Gumroad videos. Do I have 72? I'll just send you the whole package. Don't worry about it. Just send me an email if you could, to moderndayjames@yahoo.com. Just let me know the situation. I'll take care of it. Do not worry. All will be handled. All will be okay. And thanks for picking up the Gumroad. What angle do I want to do this at? Let's do this. I want to see the top a little bit. Oh, you know what would be cool? Let's see a little bit more of the top. Next level customer service. Thank you. I'm a businessman at heart. That's not really true. I'm pretty shitty, but greetings from Brazil. Thanks for coming out, my friend. When in the final stage of your drawings, how much detail do you prefer to put in? Not that much. Hey, cat, why are you eating my food? If you look at somebody like Ahmed Al-Douri look at his sketchbooks and see the level of details he throws in. I think you don't need to go too crazy with it at all. Do I carry a sketchbook with you when you travel? Yes, I always do. I think that's a necessity. Can we see the cat? Oh, hell yeah. She lets me pick her up. Birdie, say hello. Ah. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Got that high-pitched scratching sound. Just getting a little crazy. Cat says no. She's the most cuddly cat, but you know, just like all cats, you got to work on their terms. You can't decide that it's I want to see you. They decide when they want to see you. You know? So anyway, I'm getting hungry as fuck, as they say in the business, the art business, or any business for that matter, because I'm so hungry. So I think I'm gonna go eat, and after that, I'm not gonna come back and live stream, but I am gonna come back to drawing. Any thoughts on self-employment study? Wait, on self-improvement study on top of a 9-to-5 concept art job. Interesting. I think. Let's see. That's a good question. I'll try to think of that. I think you have to really try to block out times for that. If you like, try to get a set schedule for when you're going to do that. You know, and really go into it like, okay, I'm going to study now, and then try to just get rid of all distractions if that's the situation that you're in. So you have a 9-to-5 concept art job, and then you're trying to do things like perspective, anatomy, and all that good stuff. That's tough. And I know a lot of studios are really, whatchamacallit, a lot of studios are really annoying about taking time off. Doing it right now. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Do I prefer sci-fi? I like sci-fi. Sci-fi over fantasy, personally. Do you always have an idea before you draw? No, but this time I did. I spent a lot of time writing out the ideas first. I've been trying to write every day. I'm not great at writing, but I've been trying to write. Bridgman or Kim Jung-gi. They're both great for their, for the things that they do. They're all different, but I love them both. I'm excited. I want to do, maybe we'll do the hero character on stream. I had some ideas for him. He was like, sort of like a younger protagonist character. I was going to go like more Disney with the eyes and stuff, but I wasn't sure how I wanted to do it. Yeah, I don't know yet. But I like the idea of this like young whippersnapper hanging out with these like gross scoundrels. I think that's I'm excited. And then they have like robots that hang around them. Anyway, yeah, I am gonna go eat that food. What do you imagine your future legacy to be? I don't care. To be honest, I have no idea. It could be nothing. I'll be dead, so I don't care. I'm not so concerned about that. I think that's something I used to care about, and then, yeah, I don't think it matters. Just meditate a little bit, and you'll be like, oh, this is not that important. You know. If YouTube still exists after I'm dead, I'm sure people will be able to look at the videos afterwards. Either that, or I'll just become like a sentient robot. Yeah, I'll talk about the story again. I'm trying to develop it as I'm going, but I'm thinking. I was thinking about like combining all of like that sci-fi stuff, all my sci-fi influence from like Dune and Asimov, and combining that with like my childhood stories. Responds with the truth and then tries to cover his response with euphemism. Fair. What digital table and drawing software you use? It is or tablet, not table. It's a Huey and Canvas GT221. I actually thought you meant table for a moment because I have this standing desk that's really cool. That's from IKEA. What's the ultimate goal for the IP? I figured I'd do a book. So I was thinking like, how cool would it be just to like every year or two release like just books of IPs and just see how it goes, or do what like Brian Froud or Evan Munson does, which is just like continue to release books in that world. Lynch's Dune, I think a lot of people hated it. I personally had trouble with it. I love David Lynch, but I feel like I have trouble with everything he makes anyway. Like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, this is kind of difficult to watch. But then afterwards, I'm like, oh, I feel good that I watched it. I feel like I learned something. I don't know if that makes any sense. I love this fat dude's stomach, though. I'm really happy about his tummy for some reason. Something about it is makes me happy. All right, yeah, I got to get out of here, though. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Stay safe. Don't breathe on anybody. And make sure that you stay inside and draw some stuff. Write some stories. Even if you're not drawing, from the story, it's always good then later to be able to refer back to it because you had a bunch of stuff just written. So try writing every day or so. All right, everybody, take care. Don't breathe. Later.